کاوش پلاس.
The U.S. has a history of complicated and heated presidential elections. What's different this time is that the biggest political event of the last 4 years is happening amid the coronavirus pandemic, an unprecedented level of civil unrest sparked by the death of George Floyd, and the rise of the radical groups on both sides of the political spectrum.
Right now, we're breaking a city ordinance. Where the cops at?
These groups attract very angry members who have taken to the streets, making protests look like full-scale war.
What you've seen here was only a taste of what's about to happen.
These demonstrators are sometimes heavily armed, and they are not afraid of violence or law enforcement.
If you want a war, let it begin with us.
We're going to travel across the U.S. over the next week to meet these groups and their leaders to find out how far they're ready to go to fight for what they believe is good for this country. We are in Virginia to meet members of a group called the Boogaloo Boys. The Boogaloo Boys have been around for several years now, but they recently came into the media spotlight during the summer's anti-lockdown and anti-government protests. In August, several dozen heavily armed men in tactical gear carrying big guns showed up for a rally in Virginia's capital, Richmond.
All of the rights to all of the people! All rights to all the people!
Among the demonstrators were the Boogaloo Boys, who could be identified from their bright Hawaiian shirts they wear beneath their bulletproof vests. This became one of their symbols, their style, if you will. It's been reported in the American press that many of the movement's adherents are preparing for a second civil war. So now we're about to meet one of the most prominent Boogaloo Boys, Mike Dunn, a flamboyant 20-year-old former Marine from Virginia who was at the forefront of an armed protest in this state.
I don't incite violence, I incite defense!
So how many guns do you have?
Myself, personally?
Yeah.
Well, me and my brother collect, but we probably have, I don't know, over 50.
Why do you need to have so many?
Why do I not need to have so many?
So Boogaloo, exactly what does that mean?
It just means, to us, it means revolution.
Revolution?
Yes, sir.
What kind of revolution?
Whatever revolution needs to happen, whether it be a mind revolution, or if, you know, the U.S. keeps going the path it's going, we will reinstill the Constitution into its rightful place as the supreme law of the land.
In one of your interviews, you talked about the French Revolution.
Yes, I did.
And how they basically guillotined all the elite
Yes.
to start everything from scratch.
They got fed up with the way government was doing things, and they did a complete reset. And that's something I think is coming to the United States.
Is it a distant thing, in your opinion, or it is something that is right around the corner?
I can't really name a point where everybody will just rise up and say we're done. But we're in the early stages of a revolution as it is. You look at the civil unrest across the U.S., you look at groups like mine that are standing up and saying we're tired, we're done with it. We're already in the early stages of a revolution.
بیشتر بدانیم.